Noted that when you use a credit card, you spend more money than if you use cash. And let's face it, you know, that credit card is just like your best friend. If your best friend, if you borrow money from your best friend wants this money back. Well, MasterCard, Visa, Discover, Amex want their money back. And they're not as nice. And they want their money back with interest. And guess what? They're not interested in your excuses as to why you can't pay it.
But so why then is it, because we were kind of chuckling about this, where there's something about shopping that brings comfort. What is that for us? What is it about the shopping? Is it the
instant gratification?
It's the self-gratification that you talk about in your book.
Right, but it carries us over, doesn't it? I mean, we end up spending money because we can, we have it and we can't, or we don't have it, but we think we can because of the plastic. But just when you take that new thing home, there's a rush. You know, it's like chocolate. I think that this thing is released from within us, and it can be a drug, and that's why there is shopaholism. I mean, these things do create a spark of pleasure at the base of our brain that makes us feel good till we get the bill. And that's what we have to remember. We have to remember the consequences of every action. That pleasure now can equal pain later. What I want is pleasure that is sustainable. When I pay for it cash and there's no bill coming and it's mine, then I have pleasure that's sustainable.
And I love how you talk about idolatry too, because I think that gets to the root of the issue sometimes is, you know, and sometimes the idolatry can be how we look.
Yes.
That, you know, we can buy things to make ourselves feel better about ourselves and look more beautiful, and that's an idol.
Right.
You know, maybe trying to look beautiful or being in the latest style or having the latest bling or having someone say to you, you know, like, Bridget, you look fabulous today. What a great dress. Maybe that's the idolatry that we need to, our ego.
Which is true. I'm going to say
that.
Have a chocolate.
Well, it's true, and I'm being sincere, but, you know, maybe
it's true.
There's different things, right, that we idolize.
That's true, and there's always this quest for something new, because isn't it fascinating how many times we look in our closet when we're getting ready to go somewhere and it's stuffed to the gills and we say, I don't have anything to wear.
Okay, I'm guilty.
Hello, where did that come from? You know,
where does that come from? Like, where is that in our psyche? It's like, I can't wear that. I wore that last week.
Right.
People saw me in that
You're not
going to
get the same adrenaline rush, darling, from that thing that's been hanging there for a while.
Yeah, that must be it. That must be it, right?
Man looks at the outward appearance, the Lord looks at the heart, and you share heart impact through this crisis. In fact, I think what meant most to me was the dedication in your book. This book is dedicated to all of those who've learned their hardest and sweetest lessons through the things that they've lost. And you make this statement, Michelle, who others become because of your presence will be remembered far longer than your fabulous suit or the house you live in.
yes.
Just talk to us about what God did in your heart and worldview through this crunch.
Well, you know, what it did was it really caused my perspective and priorities to shift drastically. And I really believe that God has allowed the world to experience this economic blowout to really bring us back to basics. I think that the more money that we got and the more things that we got, the more selfish and self-involved we became. And we disconnected from our relationships. And what has to happen when you don't have anything is that you discover that you do need other people. You need God and you need other people. And so it forces you to reconnect. We know that statistically divorces have gone down during this time because folks just decided it is cheaper to keep her.
Keep that guy.
I can't afford to let my marriage fall apart. I better work on it, you know. But also, it causes us to reconnect as a people and to find other creative ways to get the things that we want. I discovered bartering, exchanging the things that I knew how to do with others that had skills and things that I needed. I exchanged writing for a video, etc. You know, I've always made friends with people in shops because then they tell you secrets. Girl, don't buy that today. It's going to be on sale next week, you know. You know, I don't treat anyone as a servant because when people like you, they help you. And so relationships, even in the marketplace, are very important. The people who serve you, having relationships with them, reconnecting with family, reconnecting with friends.
And so you're talking community versus networking.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, because you have to, you know, networking should never be networking just for the sake of networking anyway. You know, what is the saying? People don't care about what you know until they know that you care.
How much you
and
care.
so it's very, very important for you to even care when you're networking. Relationship is what makes people want to do things for you, not just knowing who you are and what you do.
You know, there's a verse in the Bible that always gets me because I always go, oh, I don't get what that means, or can I really believe that? But really where it says, you know, don't worry about what you'll eat or wear.
Right.
God will take care of that. Now, we say that and we go, yep, I believe that. It's in the Bible.
Until we get the bill.
Until we get the bill. But also that place of, does he really? Will he really take care of what I'll eat and what I'll wear? Is he really concerned about me with that? And do I need to worry about that?
And,
you know,
and need, right, too, is the other thing, too, right? Because he's going to take care of your needs, but maybe not your wants.
Exactly.
So how do you reconcile that? Because for some of us, we're like, I'm on my own here. I got to take care of those needs.
One of the sweetest and most treasured moments that I've had during this whole thing was when a friend of mine called me and said, I know you don't like to leave your house, because I am really a home potato, not necessarily a couch one, but I love to be in my home because I travel so much. She says, I'm going to come over and I'm going to bring all my groceries and I'm going to fix you dinner. I wept because I thought how precious that this person would take time to come and just be with me and cook for me in my home and serve me in my home. She cleaned up and she just gathered up her little things and left when she was done. And I thought, wow. Now, what would have happened earlier in my life with all my money is I would have been saying, girl, let's go out to a restaurant, and I would have been treating, and I would have missed that special moment of connection where we shared heart to heart on a whole other level. I just think that this whole thing of reconnecting and bonding out of our lack, and that's part of the faithfulness of God. God uses other people. I cannot tell you of the people who have showed up in my world lately to just give me things or to help me. And miraculously, even in the midst of me nail biting from time to time, although I know that God promises to provide, He shows up every single time. Every single time. Every bill has been paid. It's been paid on time. I don't know how. I can't explain it to you. All I can say is that I've tithed even in my lack. I don't think that you can afford not to tithe. And when you do, He stretches your money. He stretches your resources. People give you things. He finds a way to provide for you.
And you know what, another thing too that I really loved about your book, you talked about the fact that we're a culture who's afraid to ask. When we need help, we don't want to ask people.
That's true. But you know, people love it when you ask because everyone longs to be significant. And sometimes, I think that for a lot of people in my life, it was like, what do you give the person who has everything? And all of a sudden, I didn't have it anymore, and they were so excited to be able to help.
I think, you know, you talk in your book about pride and fear, and those are definitely two things that get in the way. And I, as a homeowner and a single homeowner, and someone maybe who doesn't make a ton of money, I've found I've had to rely on people a lot, and I've had all the range of experiences that you do when you have to rely on people. Some people have very grudgingly helped me, which made me feel quite terrible about myself or you know, ashamed, or you know, and then I've had other people who've just given so freely and so generously, and it's humbled me to receive it and say, I want to be more like that person. I want to learn from that. I want to, you know, have that kind of heart to help people. So I do think like it is part of humbling yourself.
It is.
And being authentic. I think what you're saying, and this is what you talk about, you're like, you have to be honest financially. The first step is saying, okay, I got to be honest, God. I got to be honest with myself and with others, and share that I'm in financial ruins. And then being honest about, I need help. I think that's all part of like being true to who you are, being, you know, saying, okay, God, I really need your help and I got to come clean in this. And then saying, okay, Cheryl, Bridget, Moira, this is my situation. And not to be afraid, right?
Exactly. There's actually a liberty in it. I actually got a sense of relief out of just being able to say, you know, I don't have it. I can't do that. I don't have the money. And let me tell you, I have continued to live rather wonderfully without it because people, like I said, have just pitched in. My aunt took me on a cruise. I went on the Queen Mary for 2 weeks of free cruise because my aunt said, you need to get away and I'm just going to invest this into your life. Come on, let's go. Now, you know, would that have happened if I was broke? I don't know. I mean, my aunt has always been generous, but there's just a specialness about I feel like God has used other people to wrap their arms around me so that I know He's still there and we're going to walk through this, and I'm not despising the process because here's the thing, there is no quick fix. If there's a quick fix, you'll be destined to repeat the same mistakes again, and God is a God of process. So He literally allows us to get to rock bottom and then walk through back up to the mountain so that you don't repeat the mistakes. Hopefully you've learned them and learned them well and are able to share them with others.
What's the expression? When you're down to nothing, God is up to something.
Yes, He is, and I love it.